What is up, everyone? Adrian Morrison here, and I am excited to have you here on the Profit Power Hour trainings. So everybody's piling in the room right now. When we do these live streams, we do them every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, and the rooms are at a limited capacity, so only 1,000 people can get on this stream. So I know, we get complaints. Some of you say that you logged in and it wouldn't let you in and all of this stuff, but there's really nothing I could do about it. Once we hit 1,000 people, it does not allow any more people to attend. We are working on getting this series on Zoom. It's just a big process because we have 10+ thousand registrants, and everybody's used to getting on GoToWebinar and all the good stuff. So it's a complicated switch, but we're working on that so more people can join in on the stream. But if you're here, congratulations. I'm glad you're in. If this is your first time here on the Profit Power Hour, welcome. We do these every week, and they're just free trainings, just meat and potatoes trainings, here to motivate, inspire, share strategies, do product research. There's nothing for sale. Our goal is to prevent you from blowing money on a bunch of courses, so you can use your money and better invest that in your business in regards to product research tools, or running ads and testing different things. There's so many things that you could do if you could save the thousands of dollars people typically spend on courses. Now, sorry for all of you that are on here that are new. These are recorded, and we do put up the replays on my YouTube channel or in your Access Adrian portal, so you can always go back and you can watch those. And the last thing I'm going to touch on while everybody's kind of piling in, I apologize if I'm sniffing. I've got some allergies of some sort. I haven't been sharing my camera lately, and I know that a lot of you are like, whoa, Adrian always is on camera, has this crazy setup, yada, yada. Well, 6 months ago, I had a bit of a midlife crisis and did something that I've always dreamt of doing. And I leased a place in Miami, in Brickell, Miami, in fact. Me and my wife have always traveled to Miami every year, basketball games, Miami Heat, when LeBron James is here, all the good stuff. Since our early 20s, and we've always dreamed of like having a place here. And I've just never done it, even though I could financially, I could do it. There were always other things that kind of came up. Doing commercial real estate in Mississippi, right? So I would invest a lot of my money in commercial real estate, and then I would, I have a lot of money invested in Destin, Florida, and Alice Beach, and I would buy this crazy house there. And Miami just always came second because everything I do, I try to stay close to my family. So my family's in, Alice Beach and Mississippi. So moving to Miami for 6 months, being away from my family would be really, it always just seemed harder. And then I turned 40, and I was like, shit, I've been like going everywhere else but where I want to go for 20 years. I got plenty of money, plenty of time, nowhere that I gotta be. And Miami is a great place for e-commerce. So many of the e-com guys are down here, so there's so much benefit. So anyways, I picked up, I did it, leased the place for 6 months, didn't have really a good setup. And a couple of weeks ago, my lease ended and I purchased a place here. So now I like own an actual spot. It's kind of like the last missing piece to the puzzle. I've got a place, in Alice, which has always been a dream to have a place on the beach on the 30A highway stretch, the compound being built in Mississippi, and now I got my little hot spot in Miami for some urban life. And it's full circle. It was really great to just do it. And I say this and I tell you this not just because, well, I'm not on my camera because I've got a couch and I've got a chair in my living room and I have no desk. I'm actually walking around right now, pacing with my laptop in my hand. So there is, you'd be really dizzy if I was on camera, and the lighting is trash. So anyways, the reason I tell you all this isn't to brag about I got this, I got that. It's that I always could do this, right? For as long as I can remember, I've been successful and I could get a place in Miami. And I never did it, but it was always something I really wanted to do. But family held me back, other opportunities held me back, fear held me back of like, moving somewhere and like, being there for a long period of time away from all of my comforts. And I did it. And I think I've become a better person all around. And I loved it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm benefiting so much from it. I'm meeting people, I'm networking, and all of these things are going to translate to you all on these webinars. And it's helping my business. And why didn't I do this forever ago? If I had come down here forever ago, I would have been at more masterminds, more dinners, networking, building my relationships and my network and my business. And I would have been happier in a lot of aspects of life because, Mississippi is quite boring and Alice Beach is very low key. It's a chill place, and it doesn't have any like nightlife for me and my wife to go. Like at 9 o'clock, everything shuts down. 10 o'clock, everything shuts down. So like, I like to burn off steam with my wife and have like late dinners and stuff. So point being, I'm glad you're here because if the fear of failure, the fear of the unknown has ever held you back from doing something, be it financially stressful or not financially stressful, I would implore you to seize the day, take advantage of the opportunity to do it as long as it's not reckless financially or reckless emotionally, and do what makes you happy and pursue the things that you want and you dream about that for some reason you just can't step forward and do. I think that when you do it, you're going to see that it's easier than you thought it would be. And the ramifications are not what you thought they would be. As a matter of fact, my brother is already looking at condos here in Miami. He's like, well, maybe, if you bought one, like, hell, maybe I'll buy one too. And my mom, who never travels by herself, it's scary to think of her driving to the airport. She's now getting on airplanes and flying down here, and everybody's coming to me, right? I didn't lose them. They're all coming here. And just opened up a whole new gateway for us, business and life and all these things. So if you're here and you're scared to get started, let me tell you something. This has nothing to do with traveling, everything to do with just doing whatever you want to do that you feel like could make your life better or prosper financially. Just do it. Just don't be reckless and don't be stupid, but go for it. And I think you'll be happy if you do. Now, on this webinar here, as my bicep gets more and more sore holding my laptop as I walk around, I want to touch base on some things that we spoke about last week. And if you weren't here last week, you can go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Adrian Morrison, and go to my videos. Always love the thumbnails that my team designs for me. I don't even look at them, but the print on demand art arbitrage. Watch that, okay? Watch that after this. And it's going to show you a really cool strategy that you could use for print on demand. And you'll have stores selling trinkets. And I went over like, hey, here's the strategy. You sell a trinket in a big niche, you build a big list, a big following, and then you start selling more expensive things through print on demand. And They have higher profit margins, and you can really make some more money there potentially. And so I had a lot of people say, like, there's always haters, there's always people saying, oh, that doesn't work, that's da 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 da, like, I don't believe, like, blah 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 blah. All right. And when that happens, I always come back and stunt a little bit by showing people that when I say something, it's coming from experience. It's not me making it up. It's not me, just thinking it's a good idea. Posers teach things that they've never done. And that's not me. I'm not a poser, never have been. So I want to share with y'all, it's an old presentation. It's really old, but I made a presentation on this while I was actually executing, like when I first started executing this print on demand strategy that I taught last week. I thought it through. I built maps about it, taught a lot of my friends how to do it, and shared it with my following and audience. And I went and I found it, and I'm going to share it with you now. Some of the screenshots are like really old. But I think they get the point across without me having to go in and take screenshots and build a whole new PowerPoint, because the numbers are irrelevant. It's the proof that the strategy works, and then showing you how to execute it, in what way I executed it to build it up. And you will see some numbers and some sales in this presentation, and I don't typically show numbers and sales because I don't, like, they're my numbers, and you're just not gonna, like, there's like a 99.99999% chance that, like, you're not gonna mimic exactly what I've done, probably 100% chance. And I don't like to do these things where I show like millions of dollars, and then you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna make millions of dollars in a week, or a year. It's just like, you got to go at your own pace. The numbers are my numbers. I'm not implying in any way, shape, fashion, or form that you're going to do these numbers or anything similar to these numbers. Everybody is going to do whatever it is that they do, and I have absolutely no clue what that will be. Okay. And anytime you're bringing up numbers and stuff like that, I think it's important to convey that to everyone. These are my numbers. You got to go do it on your own and see what works for you. Okay. So don't get caught up in the numbers. Focus on the strategy. So I'm going to pull this up real quick, and I'm going to skirt around it, and I'm going to show you how I essentially started doing this in 6 steps or more, and show you some of the results. And I don't usually pull up slides and stuff. Like, I'm probably never going to make another PowerPoint for the rest of my life. I hate them. I despise them. I'm pretty good at them, but I'm never going to do it. And I would rather pull up something super old that I could repurpose than make another one, especially on webinars that I'm not even getting paid to do. Like, these are free. Like, I ain't gonna sit around and build a PowerPoint for them. But anyways, there's a 6-step process, all right? And I started out with free plus shipping. You don't have to start with free plus shipping, but these little trinkets, they're low ticket, right? Like the fishing lures I showed you last week, they're very low ticket. So free plus shipping does work, meaning you give away the item for free, you mark up the shipping and handling and processing, and you get a little bit of a margin left over, $2, $3 left over, right? Get people to buy multiples, that can add. Then you start selling low ticket items. They're between $12 and $15. Then after you dial that in and you start getting sales, you go to the low mid ticket, $20, $25, $20, $35. And then, you work your way up to mid ticket, mid high, and then high, where you're selling really expensive stuff. And you're dialing in the audience. You find the audience with step 1. Then you start digging through the audience to get the ones that'll spend the most money, all the way up to step 6, okay? And so here's where step one begins. Just like the fishing lures last week, for me, it began with some dog collars, just like this, okay? And I sold an ass load of these bad boys. I mean, it was just stupid. I don't know if I could ever repeat it again. Like, it just went so crazy, you know? Right place, right time, right product. And that happens with lots of products. I just don't think it's going to happen with this one again, mostly because of me. I blew this thing up all across the internet, and so did a couple of other e-com people. And so it still sells. It just ain't going to do what it did. You know what I'm saying? So like, anyways, what I liked about this item and like the fishing lures is people would come in, and these are blurred. I used to like worry about like people seeing like what I sold and stuff, because like, you know, when you're showing your personal stuff, to the whole world, sometimes it feels weird, but that's just the dog collars. And people would come in and buy 3 and spend $30, right? And the posts, and these again, very old screenshots, would go super viral. They would get millions and millions of views, tons of shares, likes, da 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 da. And the thing is that I got stuck, and you can see that how old this screenshot is here, because this is back when like I started. I was just doing free plus shipping. All my customers were spending under $25. And then you see this big spike that happens after that circle, where I kind of figured it out. And I think I really figured it out in like 2017, 2018, if I recall. It's hard to tell. I think it's 2017 is when it hit. I was like, for years I've been selling low ticket items, low profit margins, trinkets and dog collars, and my margins kind of like suck, but I'm doing volume, and that's how I'm making money. But I want customers to spend more money. And that's where this 6-step process, you know, became alive. Once I sold a bunch of these dog collars, I had a big audience of people that like dogs and had dogs and bought dog stuff. And I know that people are passionate about dogs, like they're passionate about fishing, like they're passionate about their kids and their grandkids, like they're passionate about alcohol, as bad as that is, and other, you know, hobbies out there and passions. And so I built this big list, and I went to the artists that I told you I would go to artists and get pictures of like dog artists. And I would tell them I'd do profit share with them if they gave me all of their original art that I could print on demand goods, like I showed you last week, t-shirts and hoodies and shoes and yoga pants and stuff, and sell them. And it would blow their name up, blow their business up, help them sell more of their more expensive original art, and it would give me some unique content that nobody else can copy, right? Nobody else could get this art because I have an agreement with the artist. So I would then take this art and start putting it on low ticket items like these pillows. And so the first step into this for me was I would take the artwork and put it on these little pillowcases. And I loved these because people would buy 2 or 4, because if you think about it, nobody just buys 1 pillow for their couch. They buy 1 for each side of the couch. You see what I'm saying? They frame furniture with pillows. And so I would have like, you know, people that came in and bought 2 to 4 of these. Amazing. And I would put the picture of the dog on the pillows, right? That's just a paw print signifying that I would have the artwork of a dog on there. And then step 3 is after I was like, okay, I'm selling pillows. I'm selling something that's like 12 to 15 bucks. Let's see if I can sell something more expensive. So I started putting the same exact artwork that was selling on the pillows. I put it on t-shirts, and it started selling. Now I have customers coming in that were getting free items. Now they're spending $25 plus they're paying the shipping and handling. Then once that dialed in, which would be a month or so, I started higher ticket items. I started putting the same artwork, literally the same damn artwork, the same artwork legitimately on these little purses here, because you could print on tote bags and purses. Boom, popped off. Step 5, shoes. The shoes went nuts. They went crazy. I was like, there ain't no damn way if I put these pictures of dogs on shoes anyone in their right mind is going to go buy shoes with an ugly, colorful picture of a pit bull or whatever, golden retriever or Pomeranian on it, and wear that around and like think that it's stylish. I'm telling you, they were so ugly. Like the images were nicely placed. It looked good, but like there ain't no way you wear that and like feel like it enhances your overall vibe. You know what I'm saying? So like I did it and I was like, let's just see. And I priced the shoes around 70, 75 bucks. Popped off. I mean, popped off. Step 6, I saw that I could take those same images and put them on pillows and bed throws and covers. Boom. Started selling products that were $100+. So I took an audience that came in to get a free item, legitimately a free item. And now I got them coming to my store, spending $20, $40, $80, $120. And I ascended those customers, dialed in my marketing to bring in new customers. And the thing is, the person that bought the dog collar bought a pillow and then would come in and buy the purse. And then a month later might come in and buy the shoes or see my ad again or remember my store exists during Black Friday, Cyber Monday and come buy all of this stuff. I mean, legitimately, some people really did come in and buy all of the stuff. It was crazy, right? Like this one customer, and again, this is a super old screenshot. Shopify's UI doesn't even look like this. I'm sure if I went back and found this customer, she didn't come back and bought a lot more. But she, over the lifetime of a year, she spent $545 on my store, buying more products, right? That's huge. And that's where, you know, things started to change. And you can see here, these are sales. And again, they're just, you know, they're blurred because back in the day, I used to, like, I don't sell this particular art anymore. So like now I wouldn't care if I had it uncovered, but so many people try to copy everything I do. I want to share value, but I don't want everybody ripping me off at the same time, like stealing the artwork and stuff, which they started doing to the artist. It became a very big problem. People found me marketing it, knew my numbers, and started stealing the art illegally and without an agreement. It was just like, it was a big fiasco. The artist didn't really expect to happen, but you can see they're blurred. It's like shoes, purses, shirts. Customers are coming in and they're spending serious money. They're spending hundreds of dollars on orders, right? And this ended up taking me from selling some free plus shipping items. And again, what I'm about to show you is a screenshot. It's a very old screenshot. I didn't, you know, go in and take a new one. And I've since started selling, you know, very different items. Like we still sell a lot of that stuff, but like, you know, there's a lot more now that you could sell than then. So don't get hung up on these exact items. They're great, but like there's many more options now to sell than what I had access to, you know, back then when I made this very old presentation. And the numbers, forget the numbers, they're gross numbers. That's gross sales. I spent a lot of money on ads to achieve these numbers. I don't have zero clue what the margins are from this screenshot. But you know, there was a lot of money invested in ads to generate you know, these sales. So let's not just go say Adrian just made a gazillion dollars in profit. Obviously it's profitable, but you know, you just need to look at everything with like the correct lens. And really what I want you to do is don't focus on the revenue. Okay, well, you know what? I'm just gonna like, just for the sake of it, I'm gonna modify this. I'm gonna pause stream real quick. I'm gonna modify it and I'm gonna get rid of the revenue. I don't even want you to see it because like, I don't want you to like get caught up in the money, okay? Because it's irrelevant. You're not gonna do what I did. Okay, or your numbers are gonna be different, okay? Okay. So this is a screenshot, again, very old screenshot. You can see at this time I had 176,000 orders. And what I want you to look at is, this is a summary of like the different types of items that I was selling at the time using the strategy I just showed you. And you can see leggings. I sold 18,000 pair of leggings. On average order value, 50 bucks. High top shoes, 7,900. Tote bags, 32,000. That's wild. Yeah, like shoes, 2,500. Shoulder bags, 3,700. Leather totes, 23. Blankets, pillows, 7,000. Jewelry. So you can see that what I teach, I've actually, I've done it, and I'm teaching it from experience. And you can see 242,000 at this is forever ago too. 250,000 items ordered just from this little handful. This isn't even the whole list or an updated list for that matter. And yeah, I mean, like, this is the strategy. It just simply, if you follow it, it's gonna help you greatly. You can't just like dive into you can't just dive into selling high ticket stuff, because you're gonna bomb. You got to train your pixel to learn how to find customers that spend money, and then ascend it and send the customers. Learn how to dial in your ads to find the money, and it takes time. Marketing now online is a lot of times it's about time and letting it dial in. And if you start cheap, it's easier to find low ticket buyers than it is high ticket buyers. And that's why I teach you to start out with the stuff that I teach you to start out with full intentions of teaching you how to scale things and sell higher ticket stuff. So and again, here's like a little example of that list. And don't get stuck on these items in particular. Any items that make sense can be, test them all, right? Like, there's so many different things you could do now. So that being said, if you get some really good artwork that people are passionate about, and a niche that people are passionate about with that's very broad, that people are very obsessive about, you can pop off and accelerate and ascend to that audience. And you could do some damage. And again, I just want to say that, like, I'm just now thinking that you could do the math on some of those numbers with AOV and sales and whatever. If you're sitting there doing math, you're doing the wrong thing. You calculating what my numbers are is irrelevant. It's not going to help you. It's not something you should fixate on. And it's not something you're going to do, right? Especially, it was old screenshot. Like, I mean, like, there's so many other different products right now that you should, focus on, that are like more viral than the leggings and the shoes and stuff like that. This is just purely an example to show you that what I teach, is not something that I just made up. And you actually get to see the beginnings of when I started doing it, right? So that being said, test the strategy out, find an artist, start popping off print on demand, but don't jump to the expensive stuff. Ascend people from really cheap items to the expensive items. And I think you're going to find that path to be a lot smoother, and a path to a lot more potential. And remember, you're going to fail, okay? Failure is required in order to succeed. One of the license plates, a license plate on one of my cars is failure. And people always ask me, why the hell have failure as a license plate? And I always said that, you have to be willing to lose if you want to win, right? You got to be willing to fail if you want to succeed. And you have to invite failure into your life if you ever want the courage to step forward and take the risks that are necessary to win, there's nothing wrong with losing. The only thing that you can do wrong is quit. Does that make sense? The only thing that you can do wrong is quit. There's always a way. You just got to find your way. And it may not be my exact way or anyone else's exact way. These strategies are meant to motivate, inspire, guide you, help get your creative juices flowing, show you that all of these options are out there, and you just got to go. You know what I'm saying? You got to be willing to lose. You got to be willing to fail. You got to be able to get back up and say, I'm not going to sulk about this product, tanked, that I had so much, I put time into, had a lot of hope for, and I was just so sure it was going to work, and it didn't work. So now I'm going to cry about it like a little baby, even though I'm an adult, because I spent a couple hours launching a product and spent $200 and lost. Imagine the people that go open up brick and mortar businesses, commit to insane leases, buy boatloads of inventory of whatever it is they're selling, and then make no money and have to shut it down and take a massive loss. What we're doing here is very low risk. It's not going to ruin your life. It's not going to change anything in your life if you bomb on a campaign, unless you're a complete absolute idiot and you just let it keep losing, right? We put measures in place to make sure we don't lose more than 25 bucks, 50 bucks when we're testing stuff, 150 bucks maybe total before we decide we want to kill something, if it doesn't show any promise, that is. So yeah, just understand that. Okay, I know a lot of you are brand new, and I just want to convey that to you. A lot of people won't do that. What they'll do is they'll tell you how easy it is, and they'll tell you that they guarantee you're going to make this and that, and if you just, there's a bunch of idiots out there making a bunch of dumbass claims that hype people up, give the industry a bad name, that are very untrue. And if you want to run a real business, you ain't always going to win, and there ain't no magic potion. You are the magic potion. It's all you. It's within you, right? The desire to win, the willingness to accept failure, and the action to do whatever it takes to win, that's the secret sauce. And if you ain't got that, you ain't gonna win at jack shit, all right? So get to it, hunker down. This is fun stuff, and it's exciting, and it's, I think you're really gonna enjoy it. I love this model right here. So anyways, next week we'll do some more print, not print on demand, but probably some more product research on Zendrop. I'm excited about that. I'll show you some traffic strategies here coming up in the future. I'll maybe get one of my media buyers on here to teach. And yeah, we'll just keep rocking. All right, I hope everybody had a great weekend, a safe weekend if you celebrated 4th of July. And I will see you next week, same place, same time, right here on the Profit Power Hour, Tuesday night. Good night, y'all.